Welcome once again. This is News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mpango. First though, let's look at the top stories.
Brought to you by
Greenergy ethanol stores and fuel. Enjoy cleaner, healthier and affordable cooking. Cook your food in less than 2,000 shillings per day. No charcoal. Stop deforestation. We are looking for agents across Uganda. Greenergy. Bible Corner.
Tonight, President Museveni commissioned Sebei Zone Industrial Hub in Queen District. Then First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni speaks out on Bulambuli landslide victims. NEMA collects over 10 billion shillings in wetland degradation fines in a year. And lastly, Uganda to play South Africa in gold medal match at Africa Netball Cup. Thanks for keeping it with us here on UBC TV. Once again, it's always a pleasure allowing us into your space. Now, as we delve into the bulletin, a delegation of religious leaders under their umbrella organization, the Inter-Religious Council, have appealed to the congregation of believers at the end of the year's Thanksgiving prayers held at State House in Entebbe to take great concern about the 14 million Ugandans reported to be suffering from mental health cases and identify ways of addressing the matter. The Reverend Father Dr. Robert Abainomugisha applauded President Museveni for exercising his constitutional power enshrined under the prerogative of mercy to pardon prisoners and set them free, which they said is a sign of forgiveness. The statement followed last month's prerogative of mercy, through which President Museveni pardoned 19 NUP supporters who had spent more than 2 years in prison on treasonable charges.
The news media reported some time back that about 14 million people in Uganda suffer from mental illness. That is a challenge posed to all of us to do something, especially to find root causes of what breaks our hearts and minds. Thirdly, proclaiming liberty to the captives and set prisoners free. This is not just a matter of opening prisons, although there can be elements of this. The biblical texts could also be challenging us to address the root causes which lead to imprisonment. We are all called upon to build just societies where each person has what is due to him or her, so that people are not tempted to commit crimes. Fourthly, restoring sight to the blind. Luke's text adds restoring sight of the blind. Here we should not limit ourselves to loss of sight, where a lot can be done to improve our diets so that people do not lose their sight. We can also increase access to appropriate technology so that those who do not see can use their hands and ears to read and listen to texts respectively.
Now, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, thanked God for having mercy on landslides and flood victims in Bulambuli and in other parts of the country as the year comes to an end. She also appealed to God to extend his merciful hand on children held in war in Sudan and Ukraine. The First Lady also thanked the Lord for giving President Yoweri Museveni the wisdom to serve Uganda and manage the nation.
Before, we thank you in a special way, Lord God, for the visionary leadership of our President, President Yoweri Museveni, for you have raised him up to be a father in this nation and in the region and even in our continent. Father, we recognize that this too is from you, and we thank you. Thank you, Lord, for giving him the wisdom, the strength and ability to lead your people into greater peace and prosperity. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the government that he leads that serves the people of our great nation. During this Christmas season, we want to particularly thank you for the many Ugandans who serve our nation in the armed forces, the UPDF, the Uganda Police, the doctors, the nurses, the teachers, and the many thousands of others who daily spend their lives in service to our people. We pray a special blessing on them and their families during this Christmas season. We thank you, Lord, for the unique success we have experienced this year in different sectors of our society. Thank you for the grace you have given us this year to host NAM, G77 plus China, the Commonwealth Speakers Conference, and all other bigger summits that have brought the nations to our motherland. Your word says in Isaiah 60 that nations will come to our brightness and kings to our rising. Thank you, Lord.
Now, the Kenyan High Commissioner to Uganda, Ambassador Joseph Mangi, hosted the Jamhuri Day at the Kampala Serena Hotel. Uganda's Foreign Affairs Minister J.J. Odong highlighted the milestones in diplomatic ties with Kenya since 1960s, as we hear more in this report.
Kenya's 61st Jamhuri Day in Uganda was highly attended by various ambassadors across the globe and entrepreneurs whose businesses share borders with Kenya and across the East Africa Community region. In his speech, Joash Mangi, the High Commissioner of Kenya, hinted on the thriving socio-economic and political relations between Uganda and Kenya, committing to continued integration measures with the East African bloc.
Our two countries share a very long border of over 800 kilometers, making it extremely important as we share common values that ensure peace, security and stability for prosperity of our two nations and the region. Sharing a long border also means that we are one and the same people.
Kenya, Uganda's largest trade partner, hosts several Kenyan companies in different sectors like construction, finance, insurance, tourism, hospitality, transportation, all of which contribute significant revenue. In spite of this, Kenya has a more favorable balance of payment position.
Above all, Kenya has taken up a vital position in the community of nations, playing important roles in championing peace and stability, not just in the region, but indeed even at the global level.
This year's Jamhuri Day in Kampala was under the theme Economic Diplomacy, an Instrument for Sustainable Development and Prosperity. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News in Kampala.
Uganda Association of Prosecutors has convened an annual meeting with different stakeholders from Uganda Wildlife Authority and National Forestry Authority to discuss how to ensure justice for victims, strengthening interagency collaboration, and enhancing prosecution efforts to dismantle trafficking networks.
Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera has stated that complexity of human trafficking demands public awareness, hence the need for prosecutors to engage community through outreach programs, including media campaigns and special awareness days.
120 Article 3A of our Constitution mandates you as prosecutor to direct police in criminal investigations. This is therefore your duty as a prosecutor to work closely with police and various other law enforcement agencies for effective investigation of human trafficking cases. They are not easy to investigate. They need your expertise. They need your proper guidance. I'm glad that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions have embraced prosecution-guided investigations, standard operating procedures for investigating and prosecuting trafficking in persons cases in Uganda.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Lady Justice Jean Frances Abodo, who also attended the dialogue, emphasized that prosecutors ought to bridge the gap between anti-corruption and anti-trafficking efforts by aligning them under a unified policy framework.
I therefore urge each of you to use this AGM as an opportunity to share insights, learn from one another, please develop actionable strategies to combat human trafficking.
The meeting participants condemned corruption, saying it allows human trafficking to expand rapidly. They have said that corruption undermines justice, weakens the rule of law, and facilitates every single stage of trafficking.
International, it is now argued that if it were not for corruption, human trafficking would not have expanded so rapidly in the wake of globalization today. Corruption allows the trafficking process to remain protected from prosecution and facilitates even the victimization of innocent people. Corruption assists the victims' movement within the country and across borders as well. So you see that corruption both facilitates the trafficking and also feeds the flow of the people.
Human trafficking is a complex and pervasive issue that requires a multifaceted approach, and prosecutors play a vital role in combating it by enforcing laws, advocating for victims, collaborating with law enforcement, raising public awareness.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, has praised the groundbreaking agricultural research conducted by the National Agriculture Research Organization in Kawanda. He emphasized the importance of spreading this knowledge nationwide to help farmers enhance agricultural productivity.
During his visit, the Archbishop was given a guided tour of the Institute's advanced agricultural research facilities. Among the highlights was the Biotechnology Center, where crop improvement, crop multiplication, and other innovative agriculture techniques are developed.
The methods to multiply bamboo, so it's just from one little stick, and you get many of them in a very short time. So meaning a farmer could come and say, look, I need 1,000, and we'll say we have 10,000, and they will take different villages. And those ones, they are sure they are disease-free, they are pest-free, and they are what we call identical, no mixing. So
expressing satisfaction with the research efforts, Dr. Kazimba urged the Institute's researchers to make their findings accessible to farmers across Uganda, ensuring they can benefit from it.
How can they access this improved vegetable?
Now,
because there is always the challenges. The improved one with a lot of science, it doesn't last long. That's the thinking. In the garden, after some time you have to spray. I'm representing them.
Yes.
And but this one, it's still there for some time.
He also highlighted the importance of recognizing and motivating employees for their dedication and contribution to the institution's success. The director Research at the National Agriculture Research Laboratories, Dr. Roboni Tumuhimbise, emphasized the need for government intervention in the dissemination of research technologies developed by the Institute, saying that wider adoption of these technologies could significantly improve the livelihoods of farmers.
If you run this to this and then to harvest, the Nakitembe we have seen about 12-14 months.
Investing in banana, investing in bamboo, we first do soil analysis to inform them this crop will perform there or will not perform. So now the performance is based on what is contained in the soil, and we recommend this institute does this work.
Mary Namkose compiled this report.
Well, thank you, Mary Namkose. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has sent Minister Patricia Lukoma, the Minister of State for Water and Environment, to assess the situation of the historical tree known as Nakaima, which tragically killed 5 people earlier this month. These individuals were preparing for end-of-year celebrations in appreciation of Nakaima. Minister Anywar was accompanied by a commissioner from the ministry, along with security personnel and environmental authorities from Mubende district. The minister expressed her appreciation to the office of the resident district commissioner for securing the area, noting that the tree is very old and that the government is working to find ways for people to worship safely. Now, Minister of State for Luwero Rwenzori Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, urges women of Luwero not to be complacent with the aid provided, but to strive to see that they use what they have to develop themselves. Ms. Kaboyo was presiding over a handover function of 60 sewing machines from Direct Aid, a non-governmental organization, to Luwero women after completing a 4-month training course in tailoring.
Direct Aid Uganda, a non-profitable organization, has supported women from Luwero district with several sewing machines to help them earn a daily income. The 60 beneficiaries have spent the past 4 months undergoing training and have each been given starter kits of a sewing machine and materials for their businesses. Handing over the machines, State Minister for Luwero Rwenzori Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, acknowledged the organization's efforts towards uplifting people's livelihoods and encouraged the recipients to use the support for their personal growth.
They should use the skill that they have learned, and they should be honest in their job and take care of the machine that they have been given.
Kaboyo urged parents to enroll their children in vocational institutions.
Teach their children on how to also learn how to make clothes for sale and even for home use.
Sheikh Abdul Noor Yusuf, the project coordinator for Direct Aid Uganda, said they decided to focus on women so that they can become self-reliant.
This tailoring project has been set targeting female, and in fact we got them from the various places within Luwero district. The aim is to uplift the economic standard of women. After giving them the required skills, then we want them to use those machines in order to help them to sustain their needs.
The Deputy RDC Luwero, Saif Katabazi, commended President Museveni for ushering into the country peace and security that have enabled economic activities to prevail.
So I beg the people of Luwero, let us stand up. Let us work together. Let us vote NRM and vote those people who are willing to work.
Some of the women who received the grants expressed happiness and pledged to use the support to fight poverty.
Kigenda kunnyamba okweyongerako okwekulaakulanya tuyize bingi tuyize okutunga amasuuti amagomesi
ba direct aid abatuwadde ebyalaani bannayinze ndi musanyufu nnyo kubanga bwe baŋŋambye nti nina ekyalaani kyange kyazze ate nga nakati nkifunye alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
In total, 60 women completed the 4-month training program, and each of them received a sewing machine, all valued at over 90 million shillings. Brian Tumwenebiaruhanga, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
Now, over 50 children battling with cancer at Uganda Cancer Institute have received consignment of items from Little Shine Foundation to help provide the little ones cope with their daily life. Little Shine Foundation Board Chairman Douglas Nsubuga noted that they are committed to support the most vulnerable members of society.
Childhood cancer is a significant health issue with an estimate of over 2,850 new cases per year, with the most types of childhood cancer including bucket lymphoma, acute leukemia, among others. Little Shine Foundation has donated items to over 50 children battling with cancer at the Uganda Cancer Institute, and the items include food and hygienic materials. Chairman Board of Directors, Little Shine Foundation, Douglas Nsubuga, noted that they are committed to support the most vulnerable members of the society.
We need to care about these young children, but the bigger message out there is about causing awareness. We need to do greater education and sensitization of the public out there to know that cancer also affects our young children. Our young children are suffering a lot because of this disease. What can we do to bring and also to cause an impact so that the young children can also have hope? As government has to look a lot into this to ensure that facilities are well spread out there. People are traveling from different areas. We've talked to parents who have their children coming from the far end of northern Uganda, Gulu. There are those who are coming from Bale, there are those who are coming from Kasese. Probably the facilities are not enough. So from the little things that we do, because now that is our vision, doing little things with great love. It's
items, but also hygienic items, and people have received them with a smile. We are intending to do this every year so that we reach out to people who are in need of our support, both materially and financially. There are people who don't know that even children suffer from cancer. We have seen people with different health complications that are resulting from cancer. And it is part of our mission as the Little Shine Foundation to support health initiatives.
Little Shine Foundation is a non-profit organization that is committed to ensuring that the poorest of the poor can access opportunities to achieve self-actualization by acquiring life's basic needs. The foundation also aims at raising awareness among children suffering from cancer and calls upon well-wishers to give a helping hand to children with cancer. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Thank you very much, Zahara. There now, Minister of State for Works and Transport, Mose Francis Echuero, has assured those into the engineering profession of the reviews of Engineers Registration Act 1969 to provide a stronger and effective framework to avert challenges that disrupt the profession. Mr. Echuero's message was delivered by the Director of Engineering at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Engineer Stephen Kitonsa, whom he delegated to represent him at the gala dinner organized by the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers held in Kampala. Ivan Juko has more.
Stupid. I may crack this job.
To monitor the works and bring together the engineering fraternity to share ideas as well as promote the profession, Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers was formed in 1972. This independent umbrella body has since its inception embraced the operationalization of engineers, technicians and technologists right from when they started training in colleges as young professionals to mature and senior practitioners. According to current statistics, Uganda has only 1,883 registered engineers compared to the 45 million Ugandans who seek their services, and out of these 1,480 are not active. Professor Dr. Engineer Henry Mwanachi Alinaitwe, the chairperson Engineers Registration Board, expresses his institution's concerns over the low number of engineers in the country compared to other countries.
When you compare with the UIPE, which is our sister institution that's supposed to help us to groom and train and prepare our engineers to register, the numbers are also still small. You know, the corporate members are very few, but also the total membership, including even the fresh graduates, are only 8,389 that are known to IP. Now, currently, Uganda produces about 700 graduate engineers every year.
The patron Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, Professor Dr. Engineer Francis Tusubira, urged the engineers to be proactive and keep pushing despite the obstacles to their profession.
We need to learn to expect challenges both as people and as organizations, and this is something maybe we missed out on. Some of you have been around for a long time will remember that the format of the institution was still essentially what it was about 50 years ago. There were very few engineers in Uganda. There were just a few registered engineers, and therefore life was very collegial. But as times changes and generations start growing, we now have a range from the 20s to the 80s in this institution. The challenges are going to come up because the generations are different.
The chief guest at this function, Minister of State for Works and Transport Musa Echwelu, was represented by Engineer Stephen Chitonsa.
It has always been the role of engineers, technologists, technicians, artisans, and craftsmen to plan, design, develop, operate, and maintain the physical infrastructure, the technology, and the systems that are required for our country to achieve the aspirations of Vision 2040.
Mr. Echweru revealed that government is to review and revise the Engineers Registration Act of 1969 for a stronger and effective framework.
Accordingly, the Engineers Registration Act of 1969 is being repealed to provide for a stronger and effective legal framework that will address the present challenges.
The annual Engineers Gala was celebrated under the theme, Engineering the Future, Innovating Through the Socio-Economic Challenges of Our Time. I'm Ivan Juko and Dan Lugemwa for UBC.
Stop breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
This is so much smoke. How you doing? My friends told me about an affordable solution. They're called Greenergy BioStove. Very clean and very safe. Let me call them right away. Go, go, go.
Wow, can you believe these beans are in just 45 minutes?
Greenergy ethanol stoves and fuel. Enjoy cleaner, healthier and affordable cooking. Cook your food in less than 2,000 shillings per day. No charcoal. Stop deforestation. We are looking for agents across Uganda. Greenergy, Bible Corner.
And into our next segment, a new report released by Zimba Women and Penda Capital at the American Center in Kabalagala reveals critical insights into the digital literacy landscape among women in Uganda's formal sector. These partners received funding from Uganda Communications Commission, UCC, under the Uganda Communications Universal Service and Access Funds in a bid to roll out digital literacy in northern Uganda.
You can't work with everyone. You need to get people you trust to work with to collect the information.
The program reached 1,301 respondents across 25 districts, including Kamwenge, Kanungu, Kole, and Chankwanzi. The findings reveal a stark digital divide, with only 18% of participants having previously had a digital skills training.
We find that women out there are still in dire need for digital skilling. We interviewed more than 1,300 women, and of those, almost just about 60% either owned a smartphone or had or seen or used a smartphone. The rest either had feature phones or basic phones, but even then, even those who had smartphones are underutilizing what a smartphone can do for them to access markets, to produce content, to market their products.
Despite high mobile phone ownership, with over 75% across all surveyed districts, smartphone access varied significantly, with ownership rates as low as 41.7% in Kanungu compared to 84.6% in Chankwanzi. According to the report's findings, women in rural areas expressed a desire to learn about essential topics such as online safety, e-government services, and basic computer skills.
The biggest recommendation is perhaps for taxes to be lowered or even scrapped like it was with the computers, because these devices are still out of reach because of price point for many of these women. Most of them have basic phones, they have feature phones, and yet where the world is going, we're now dealing with AI. They need to have at least that basic level of smartphone, internet access.
The Uganda Communications Commission expects these efforts to significantly elevate the digital skills of women across various districts, ultimately fostering economic growth, financial inclusion, connectivity, and improving household productivity. Wadulo Arnold Mark in Kabalagala.
Now, the General Secretary of Uganda Cooperatives Alliance, Ivan Asimwe, has said the future of cooperatives in Uganda lies in unity and innovation. Speaking at the 2024 Malgwemgos annual conference, Asimwe praised the Uganda Federation of Credit Community Corporations and Cooperatives for redefining financial services through member-driven institutions.
In a spirited gathering aimed at transforming youth access to financial services, the Uganda Federation of More Gumugos Community Credit Cooperatives held its 2024 annual conference under the theme
Bridging the Youth Gap in Access to Finance through Cooperatives. Over 70% of the population are young people. So this conference has been organized to address that challenge.
The event brought together 18 More Gumugos cooperative leaders and youth from across the country to chart a path toward financial inclusion and cooperative growth. General Secretary of Uganda Cooperative Alliance, Ivan Asimwe, also chief guest. He pledged to support More Gumugos cooperatives with capacity building training to strengthen their impact.
I want to thank the leadership and management of UFCC, the leadership and management of MGs, these are credit cooperatives, for organizing this annual conference. Because it is within the conference that people are able to deliberate, to learn, to understand, to share, and network. We are really ready and willing to transform the lives of many Ugandans, especially the smallholder farmers. So we are so grateful.
Samuel Mavumiri's chairperson of UFCC, delivered an inspiring report highlighting the Federation's remarkable achievements over the past year, with the Liquidity Stabilization Fund also experiencing significant growth, increasing from 1 million last year to over 300 million in 2024.
As we speak now, we are approximately 15,500 members compared to 10,500 of last year. Our share capital and savings have also increased to 2.8 billion compared to 1.2 of last year. So that achievement has been decided this year.
Justin Imbambu, a youth leader from Western Youth More Gumugo in Kasese, shared heartfelt testimonies about the challenges of accessing financial services from traditional institutions.
This thing of not accessing financial services makes us to roam around Uganda looking for this and that, and we find ourselves in things that we cannot do. For example, a frustrated youth who has failed to access a loan from the financial institution ends up in a miserable life.
Andrew Kepa, Chief Executive Officer of Uganda Federation of Credit Community Cooperatives, reiterated the Federation's commitment to empower youth with affordable and convenient financial solutions.
Our MGs must be at the forefront of promoting enterprise startups because most of the youth are jobless. We have also learned that we have to go back and refine our products and services to give them reasonable loans with limited conditions, because we have also realized that most of the youth don't have collateral to provide for loans.
The conference concluded with a resounding call for youth to embrace the More Gumugo model, which emphasizes community-driven solutions to financial challenges. With continued growth in membership and financial contributions, More Gumugos cooperatives are poised to become a cornerstone of Uganda's cooperative movement, fostering a generation of financially empowered youth.
Now, Safe Transport and Survivors Support Uganda, in liaison with Ministry of Works and Transport, has developed a guide for establishment of safe school zones for Uganda. This was announced during a breakfast meeting held at Katikati restaurant that brought together editors, guild and road safety advocates.
Every morning, countless children set off to school with dreams in their eyes and a thirst for knowledge. But for some, this journey turns into a nightmare. Across the country, road crashes have stolen young lives, shattered families, and left communities in mourning. The innocence of childhood meets the brutal reality of unsafe roads where reckless driving, inadequate pedestrian crossings, and lack of safety measures converge into a silent crisis.
It is worse when it is children, school children. We lose school children
every day. So it's not that we don't know. I don't understand where this callousness, where the humanity has gone.
Statistics indicate at speed of 30 kilometers per hour, there is a 10% fatality risk. At 50 kilometers per hour, there is a 50% fatality risk, whereas at 60 kilometers per hour, there is 90% fatality risk.
When we drop or pick our children from schools, when we walk with them, how many of us care to look if the school has any sign that warns anybody that the school is nearby? If the school has any road strips or humps to delay, we all drive, we all use our borders as if we don't have, as if these children are not ours, as if we have second lives. And so the editors, the reporters, the people who are in charge of the media must at least help this society by highlighting this crisis.
Police crime report in the last 5 years indicates a staggering total of 3,357 school children below 18 years were killed in road crash. To break this down, in 2023 alone, school children killed were 872. In 2022, we are 650. In 2021, we are 600. In 2020, we are 628. In 2019, we are 607.
Our children are the future, and we really need to ensure that the journey to and from school is not a journey that will stress them. It's a journey that will be easily done, will be safely done, such that they can go to these institutions and do the learning they need to do.
With many ignoring road traffic signs and fair justice for those involved, this Safe School Zone Guide details necessary road infrastructure elements around school zones to curtail this worrying trend. It outlines the basic principles for school zone planning and design, including bus stops, speed bumps, and other safety features.
Safe school zones, these are areas along the school zones where the number of young pedestrians are likely to be in big numbers. And these safe school zones are supposed to be gazetted to have signages, the signages that shows the speed limit, and if you are approaching the school zone, you should reduce the speed.
The number of road fatalities in Uganda has increased 7-fold over the past 25 years. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Continue to be the most affected by ignorance on gender-based violence and sexual reproductive health. And as we hear in the following story, the Mekwe Youth Festival held recently aimed to create awareness and extend health services closer to the vulnerable youths in Machindi, as we hear more from Faith.
Youth in slum areas of Uganda continue to grapple with access to medical care and discrimination, especially the vulnerable groups.
You are aware that after maybe an assault of rape, an assault of defilement, it is a requirement that you, the victim, should have what is called medical form or medical examination. Now to a villager, to a youth in the village, 25,000 shillings is just a very big amount of money. Yet even buying a Panadol, Cooperative, in maybe during the pregnancy stage is a problem.
Things in the community, they don't involve us, they discriminate. More so me who comes from a region where they normally take circumcision, they don't involve us in that activity. Health centers, sometimes they don't take us as some people who have blood also. More so when it comes to AIDS, they say even such a person also can also get AIDS. Where does that person get AIDS?
The Mekwe Festival, a program of the Nexus Youth Initiative, intended to enhance social inclusion of vulnerable youth, providing reproductive health education, among other services.
Very many young people
have been saying we don't have access to sexual and reproductive services. We never get to meet our stakeholders. And today has been a very good opportunity for us to bring these young people closer to the leaders in this community. And most importantly, we wanted to show them that we actually care, we are there, and we are available for them. For example, in this Namuongo, we have been using Chisugu. We have been engaging with the health workers to be able to actually give these services to young people for free. And Chisugu has very, very many free services that have been given to the young people. You register, especially youth from 15 to 24, and get these services for free. So we have been in.
So we've brought other youths like them from other different areas to actually talk to them, to inspire them, to tell them that even if you have a disability, or maybe you're a teenage mother, actually there's a future for you. You can still thrive through and make it in life.
It has also been said that there is need for equality in promoting development of the youth living in slum areas of the country. Cayenne Faith, Joel Vobia for UBC.
Now, as we draw closer to the end of the bulletin, we'll look at some of more stories. As Uganda continues to embrace cleaner and more sustainable energy solutions, a significant milestone in the energy sector has been achieved today. A new environmentally friendly cooking gas has been introduced to the market, promising to transform the way Ugandans cook while safeguarding the environment.
Burning real good.
Today marks a pivotal moment for Uganda's energy sector, as a new product is set to make clean and safe cooking accessible to households and businesses nationwide. The launch event emphasized the importance of reducing reliance on traditional biomass fuels, which have long contributed to deforestation and air pollution.
Use of gas is yet to be very, very sensitized to the population of Uganda. We are still facing a competition with charcoal, which is still a lot in this country. And another big challenge that we have is illegal refilling. So we still have the illegal practices in this market of refilling companies, including ours, cylinders illegally. So therefore, I would take this opportunity to request the authorities or the regulators of this market to come in handy and help us to regulate the LPG market so that we can eliminate those practices that's illegal.
This initiative highlights the growing momentum towards cleaner energy in Uganda. By adopting innovative solutions, the country is taking meaningful strides in creating a greener and healthier future.
Showing our customers, and we want to provide a solution to replace the old mode of cooking that they had by changing from the use of charcoal to a greener energy. So our Rubis gas is equipped with safety features and it's convenient to our customers.
As Uganda continues to prioritize sustainable energy, innovations like these underscore the importance of addressing environmental and health challenges. Sandra Kahunde, Robert Katamba, News Tonight.
Well, let's take a quick short break and then we return with some of our final stories. Stay with us.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when fueled with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! Your car is happy, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
There is myths that so many of you live by. If your eye is twitching, it means you're going to see someone you like. If it shines and rains at the same time, it means a leopard is giving birth.
If your hand is itching, it means you're going to get money. If you see an owl, it means somebody's gonna die. If you hear of a disease outbreak, just know it is in a village district at the border next to some suspicious country. You will want to scratch that last myth. Because Mpox is in 19 districts and Kampala is among with dozens of cases, please stop going around checking anyone's hand. Mpox kills. Protect your loved ones.
Welcome to the world of business as we focus on the coffee industry. Now, through collective efforts and initiatives in promoting locally grown products by adding value is an art of creativity aimed at increasing Ugandan products at the international market. In an interview with UBC TV, Mr. Zong Shuangguan, a Chinese investor popularly recognized for his Zong's natural rice success, reveals how much value he has added to the locally grown Robusta coffee.
Mr. Zong is a Chinese investor who has lived in Uganda for close to 25 years. Like many other Ugandans that have embraced large-scale commercial farming, Zong too has invested heavily in rice farming at a large scale, an agriculture activity that has given him both locally and international recognition. However, today, we are not looking at Zong's natural rice success story, but rather his other interest in Ugandan coffee called the Robusta coffee. The investor's love for the locally grown coffee started after his daughter came up with a project to refine the Robusta coffee in promoting and adding value to it.
So here we have some coffee from Uganda. It is a specialty blend of both Arabica and Robusta, and we will be making an espresso from it. So Robusta coffee is very important to Uganda because it is one of the major exports that the country has, and now we are working towards creating a refined version of it where the beans can be sold for a higher price.
Speaking in an interview at his restaurant in Kololo, Mr. Zong shares his interest in the Ugandan Robusta coffee.
And I realized that Uganda really has a very good coffee. The coffee is very reputable for in the world. Mm-hmm. So I start to see how we can join efforts to help Uganda to go through the poverty and increase the income for Uganda. Since I have been in Uganda 25 years, actually I'm already Uganda. I have the same ambition with my daughter to promoting Uganda coffee so that we can respond to the call to president and the government for wealth creation in this country.
Uganda has always been famous for its Robusta coffee that is still grown wild in the country's rainforests. However, to maintain standards, there is still need to find ways of increasing on its prices.
We can use special processing procedure. Also, we can sell to identify the special coffee trees. Also, we improve our processing, or we find out some special group who is willing to pay higher price. For example, we can sell it to Elon Musk. We can sell it to to maybe like Bill Gates.
Mr. Zong's interest is in line with President Museveni's call on value addition to the locally made products to spur exports. At his restaurant in Kololo, the investor says adding value to Robusta coffee that is served has increased the number of consumers because of its tasty aroma.
Okay, there we go. Our coffee is ready. She's serving it.
Despite the success, Zong says the coffee sector still has its own challenges that government and other stakeholders need to find solutions to.
We can also bring the coffee tourists. We can bring the people to experience how to grow coffee, how to harvest the coffee, how to processing coffee, and also we even how to make coffee.
The need to increase on the local consumption of Robusta coffee is crucial in order to increase its demand at the international market.
Is to increase the quantity. We just encourage our farmer to do more plantation, so that we increase the quantity. When we have enough quantity, so that many people will start drinking Uganda coffee. When they start to drink Uganda coffee, they will find out that Uganda Robusta coffee is really amazing.
Mr. Zong also applauded individuals who have taken up the initiative to promote Robusta coffee beyond Uganda's territorial boundaries. Lydia Chomkama for UBC News.
Well, as we turn into the world of sports, Uganda's national netball team, the She Cranes, has beaten Malawi 51-43 to turn a place in the 2024 African Netball Cup final, which it plays South Africa tomorrow at the MTC Dome in Namibian municipality of Swakopmund.
And that brings us to the end of the second quarter semi-final.
After falling behind 8-14 at the end of the first quarter, Uganda returned for the second and leveled the game at 23-all going into the second half.
That last 15 minutes that we really gave the ride and were really consistent on our attack, and we had a lot of turnovers, so that's what happened really.
In the third quarter, Uganda dominated and led 39-32 going into the final quarter that ended with a 51-43 victory.
Let me say each and everyone helping one another on the court, supporting everyone, though whenever mistakes comes around, but still couldn't just let the team go, but still we had that total team spirit, because we really wanted this game battle off, because we had that hope of beating Malawi in a big range, because I knew before starting the game.
On paper, or as one listens to this, it may appear as though Uganda strolled, but wasn't the case. It took tactical changes at the end of the first quarter, with Sandra Nambirige replacing Hanisha Mohamed and Maseba Tamuliza coming on for Joyce Nakibule. This led to a technical switch that allowed Gloria Aya to go into goal defense alongside Farida Kandondi and Nambirige into wing defense, a move that steadied the boat.
But later on, we managed to do some substitutions here and there, and here we are. We thank God because we have won this game.
Uganda will in the final play South Africa that beat Zimbabwe 63-41.
Uganda started badly, but later on, Uganda showed it can make it. The skills, the talents the girls showed that they have persistence. Uganda girls are very persistent.
Both South Africa and Uganda have won this championship thrice, with the She Cranes successful in 2014, 2017, and 2018.
Well, that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for allowing us into your space. right from 1 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. A very good night to you.
An amazing off-the-hook youth program brings you an array of fun, exciting, and educative segments you do not want to miss. From red carpet moments to proms, youth empowerment programs to youth gig vibes, and so much more, Teens Crown will get you hooked. Only on UBC TV every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Don't miss.
Dear UBC TV viewer, UPDF Legacy, a popular program previously airing on Sundays at 9 p.m. will now air every Thursday at 11 p.m. on UBC TV. The program delves into UPDF's transformation efforts, protection and service to the nation by showcasing the Army's contribution to national development and regional stability. Join us as we continue to explore the Uganda People's Defense Forces mandate of preserving and defending national sovereignty and territorial integrity over our motherland, Uganda. Stay tuned for more informative programs, stories, interviews and updates about the works of the UPDF. We look forward to sharing UPDF's legacy with you. This is just an adjustment in time, but the same great content.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss a critical topic that could potentially save lives. The top 10 signs of a heart attack. It's crucial to be aware of these warning signals and act promptly. Before we start, please remember that this information is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you suspect a heart attack, seek emergency medical attention immediately. Number 1. Chest pain or discomfort. The most common symptom of a heart attack is chest pain or discomfort. It may feel like squeezing, fullness, pressure, or pain in the center of the chest. This sensation can last for more than a few minutes or may come and go. Number 2. Shortness of breath. Shortness of breath is another significant sign. If you're having difficulty breathing or experiencing sudden and unexplained shortness of breath, it could be a warning signal. Number 3. Upper body discomfort. Pain or discomfort in the arms, neck, jaw, back, or stomach can also be indicative of a heart attack. Pay attention to any unusual discomfort in these areas. Number 4. Nausea or vomiting. Some people may experience nausea or vomiting during a heart attack. If you're feeling sick to your stomach without an apparent cause, consider it a potential warning sign. Number 5. Cold sweats. Sudden cold sweats, clammy skin, or a feeling of lightheadedness can be signs that your heart is under stress. Don't ignore these symptoms. They may indicate a heart attack is underway. Number 6. Fatigue. Unexplained and extreme fatigue, especially if it's not related to physical exertion, can be a subtle but important sign of a heart attack. Listen to your body and take it seriously. Number 7. Dizziness or fainting. If you experience dizziness or faint, it could be due to insufficient blood flow to the brain, a potential consequence of a heart attack. Seek medical attention if this occurs. Number 8. Irregular heartbeat. Irregular heartbeats or palpitations can be another warning sign. If you notice your heart racing or beating irregularly, it's important to get it checked out. Number 9. Indigestion-like symptoms. Sometimes symptoms such as indigestion, heartburn, or stomach discomfort can be misleading and be signs of a heart attack. Be aware of the context and any additional symptoms. Number 10, anxiety or a feeling of impending doom. Intense anxiety or a sense of impending doom without an obvious cause can also be a warning sign of a heart attack. Trust your instincts and seek help if you feel something is wrong. Remember, time is of the essence during a heart attack. If you or someone around you experiences these symptoms, call emergency services immediately. Early intervention can make a significant difference. Stay informed, stay safe, and take care of your heart. This program is produced by Sani Production, powered by UBC TV, inspiring Uganda. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.